Hi, all. Welcome to the last few weeks of the semester. Thought I would touch base with you today regarding the research paper that you have coming up that is due November 19th. First of all, I hope that you're all getting out there to vote today. No matter what you vote, Democrat, Republican, Independent, it's very important that you exercise your right to vote. Particularly for women and minority groups, we worked really hard to get this right, and it's important that we practice it, especially for future social workers. It's one of our calling to do, and so it's important that we get involved in politics, even if it's not sometimes it's very pleasant. So anyway, wanted to talk to you about your research paper. Hopefully you've all had some experience writing a research paper before. This is a little bit different than the annotated bibliography that you had to do earlier this semester for me, but hopefully this will build on your annotated bibliography. So if you remember, I had you find 8 peer-reviewed journal articles for that first assignment, and I hope that that provided you a nice base of research to move into your paper. Hopefully you chose a topic that you are interested in, and then you can use that kind of as your jumping off point for your next paper. So I would expect you to have a minimum of 8 sources, but probably closer to 12 for this paper. You're going to be doing a research paper on a social work topic of interest for you. Again, it's due November 19th. And I never really give a page limit. I'm trying to look at my syllabus to see if I did that. That's not usually my style. Usually I'm someone who is more macro focused in that when you're finished writing, if you feel good about what you wrote, then that's good enough. There's a lot of professors out there that will give you a page limit, and then of course you're writing and writing just to get to the end of that page and meet that limit. And sometimes what you're writing is kind of beyond the point. So I'm always kind of it's more about quality versus quantity. However, that doesn't mean that you should turn in a 2 to 3 page paper either. So this paper is worth 100 points, so keep that in mind as you're writing. So I did lay out in the syllabus, and I'm going to look at that here as I talk with you, what I would expect. So choose your specific population area. One of you was really interested in human trafficking, and so you found 8 journal articles that pertain to that topic and read those. And so those would be a kind of good resources to use for your paper. And so you should follow kind of this outline, and it doesn't have to be specifically this. And again, of course, you can add more to this. But I would expect first, description of the social problem involved. I want a history of that problem. Is it a new problem? Has it been around for a while? How widespread is that problem? Who does this really affect immediately? And who is affected tangentially? And is there a legal mandate for social workers to be involved, or is participation voluntary for social workers? So not all problems require social work. They probably all should. But there are some problems that are definitely required to have social work involvement. And so in order to find out what that would look like, you would have to do some research on whether or not social work is actively involved in addressing that problem or that need. The second point is the role of the social worker in addressing the problem. So what do social workers do when it comes to problems like human trafficking or substance use disorder or something like that? What populations do they work with? When it comes to sexual abuse, do social workers work with the perpetrators, the victims? Is the care voluntary, involuntary? What are the social workers that are dealing with the problem involved? Where are they employed? How does the public perceive the social worker in dealing with this problem? As we all know, social work does not have the best reputation sometimes, even though we're really doing hard work behind the scenes. I think it's a very underappreciated profession. So give me a little bit of information on kind of how social workers work with people that are experiencing these issues. The third point would be, what methods do social workers use in trying to solve the problem? Describes some of the current attempts by social workers to help their clients deal with these difficulties. And so again, that's going to require some research on your part in looking at maybe new methods or approaches in dealing with these issues. You can use your textbook as one of the resources. Certainly that's a good resource, but you will need to probably locate some other resources along the way. Fourth, what are your personal reactions to the values and ethics related to these problems that you've covered in your paper? Do you agree with what the profession is doing and how they're trying to help solve the problem? And what would you do differently? So again, I would have a little discussion on ethics and values. Certainly, your opinion is important. I would also utilize some resources to give an educated point of discussion regarding how social work is dealing with these issues and maybe some of the ethical issues that people have when it comes to this issue particularly. So a good part of these points, 20 points, is the APA. I know some of you did really great with that in your annotated bibliography. Hopefully I gave you good feedback so you're able to make those corrections as you go. I do not expect you to be perfect in APA, but I do want you to make an effort. It is different than MLA, which is what we're taught usually in our college English courses. So, but social workers, we always write in APA. And so again, the Purdue OWL website, and that's Purdue, if you just Google that and find that, that will give you some really good APA information, tell you how to cite. I would expect a title page and a reference page, and just following those kind of specific APA format guidelines. So again, I don't expect you to be perfect. You're a work in progress. Hopefully by the time you're seniors in some program, you will be really fluent in APA writing. So I just want to kind of help you get there and kind of give you some correction and guidance along the way. So I think that's it for the research paper. Please let me know if you have any questions. I am leaving tomorrow for a social work conference down in Orlando, Florida. But I'll be available, of course, to answer questions. I will check my email sporadically over the next few days. So hope that you all have a great week. I hear that there's snow coming at the end of the week. So yeah, I think today might be the last decent day that we have here in Ohio. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions, and I'm here to help. Thanks.